I'm lucky to be playing with Matt. He's obviously such a talented dude, and the level of musicality he brings, just as a jazz musician, is, I mean, you can't replicate that. And I've played with session players who are amazing at what they do, but they really do pop music, and their minds are a little more closed off to the options. Playing with Matt and his musical knowledge, it adds a lot.
I'm glad that I got a jazz education too, because it just puts me one step above, you know, the harmonic knowledge that most people in the pop world have. I wanted to go to a music school, but I didn't want, like, you know, Berkeley school or a new school where there's 200 kids in your class, you know, and you don't get nearly as much personal attention from professors.
Many of my Purchase graduates have a more realistic approach than, say, somebody who's trained at even a school like Juilliard.
So I started emailing all the schools that fit that criteria, like little schools, maybe out in the middle of nowhere. And then I would get all these emails back from these really enthusiastic professors who really wanted me to go there, and obviously, you know, they needed kids to go. And I got an email back from Todd Kuhlman at Purchase that just said, we accept X number of players every year. Good luck. Auditions are in the fall. So I was like, okay, I want to go there. You want a challenge. You don't want a school that needs you. You want a school where the competition is such that it allows you to grow.
The award-winning professors at Purchase must take the wisdom gained from their generation and use it to prepare the students for the next one. It's a notable and difficult challenge, given the uncertainty of the constantly changing musical world.
Did you hear that lonesome whippoorwill?
I'm 50 years old. I graduated from college in 1981. My generation of students, and a little bit after that, we just didn't face the same kind of challenges. The thing is that you do need to know how to market yourself. You may need to generate a lot of this stuff for yourself.
We're very much involved in a DIY culture, a do-it-yourself culture, where students are bringing in product in much more finished states.
That notion of do-it-yourself hasn't changed, but how one does it oneself is, of course, different. For instance, those recordings I did before I was on a label, I can put it on iTunes, CD Baby, whatever it is.
When I finally made my own independent CD, that was a major accomplishment, because working on a project like that was something I wanted to do for a long time. And I realized that I could do it, and I didn't need anybody else. I didn't need a record company, and I didn't need an A&R man. The recording technology has just improved, and it's cheaper and more accessible.
As far as the clubs go, yeah, they're gone, a lot of them. You know. I came at a time in New York where there were tons of clubs where I could work. I mean, there were years when I had more gigs than there were days in a year.
New York used to be huge venue for studio work. It's really virtually disappeared. Even the top orchestras are in financial trouble right now, so the mid-level and the lower-level orchestras, some of them are folding. It's not a given that there are going to be jobs out there, because concert promoters and orchestras have to think about what will sell, what will get people into the hall, what will sell the most tickets. So they're not going to take risks on younger, unknown people. They want something that's a sure thing. And the thing that's interesting about students here, some of them will go on and have mainstream careers, and they'll be fine. And then there are those who are really going to have to make their own way, find their own path, and believe it or not, they may be happier and more successful in their own way.
I can't talk about, you know, how to get gigs in clubs that no longer, let's say, exist. But I can talk about that when you get knocked down, get up. You know, that'll always be the case. prelude to things that happen in every era. And so as a musician starting out, I think it's one's job to take that which is universal and apply it to how he or she will go about, creating this life in music, which is a very rewarding thing. And it's up to the elder and the teacher and the elder not to harp too much on the specifics of the past and just say, okay, to kind of see that which binds us all together. That desire to create beauty. I mean, that's what an artist does.
It's a very powerful chemistry at play in the world today. There's a lot of people listening to a lot of art, perceiving a lot of art. And an artist is uniquely empowered today. Uniquely. Much more so than in the history of the world. Because today the audience is vast. As great a composer as Mozart was, a smaller audience.
Things are always changing. I mean, if they didn't, it would be awful. So where's the opportunity in that?
Why weren't you true? Oh, you know why. I trusted you. Oh, you were just friends. At least that's what you said. Now I know better. From his fingers in your hair, I'll forgive you for what you've done.
The opportunities have presented themselves to both Cyrille Aimee and Matt Simons, and with the true determination of up-and-coming musicians, they've turned those opportunities into tales of success. One journey began in Cyrille's hometown with France's latest international sensation, Caravan Palace.